our severe weather alert day continues as a severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for our area. First at 4 is next.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, strong to severe storms are moving across Kentucky. So far, no reports of major damage or tornado touchdowns in our region. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel for the latest. And Paige, there are some warnings out, right?
Yeah, we have a severe thunderstorm warning now, and that includes some parts of Laurel County as we're seeing this heavy line of showers and storms moving into parts of London as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. It's moving out of Pulaski County now, but definitely in Laurel County. This goes until 4:15. Definitely some gusty winds, heavy rain, maybe even some light hail associated with this. This will be moving into parts of Clay County as well. You can see a little bit of Jackson's in that, along with McCreary County and Pulaski County and Rockcastle. But you see that that threat is out of that area. You can see actually it was just updated there. Laurel County still in that, along with Jackson and Clay and Rockcastle. Once again, that goes until about 4:15. But as we take a look at the bigger picture, just multiple showers and storms. That one warning right now. Keep an eye on that warning over into Madison County that could be moving into parts of Powell and Estill County. We're just seeing those showers and storms start to pop up, but really the further east they move, they're actually going to become a little bit more severe. That's why that enhanced risk was issued for a lot of our eastern Kentucky counties. That includes our West Virginia counties and our Virginia counties as well. That enhanced risk, 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. Rest of us in a slight risk, which is a 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. So there's a look at that severe thunderstorm watch until 9 p.m. this evening. All of our counties are in that, so more showers and storms are expected to pop up as we head into the rest of the evening hours. I'll break down the timing of this event coming up in just a little bit, Steve.
All right, Paige, and we'll get back to you as necessary. A severe line of storms now working their way through some of our western counties.
Yeah, we're starting to see those severe thunderstorm warnings starting to pop up. They include a lot of our counties as well as that line moves through. Let's go ahead and take you to that severe thunderstorm warning. This one was just issued for parts of Clay County, and you could just see another one was issued parts of Clay County, even into Owsley County as well. Jackson County, parts of Lee County are in this, and even Laurel still in this. So you could see this warning goes until about 5 p.m. It was just updated. That other one that was out into parts of Pulaski County was just canceled, but you could see this very strong line of showers and storms producing very, very gusty winds. Just got a report of 46-mile-per-hour gusts over at the London airport. So this is continuing to track to the north and east. We'll be moving into parts of Breathitt County here in a little bit, but definitely Owsley County, Lee County once again, over into parts of Clay County and Jackson County right now is seeing that severe storm moving through the area. As we take a look at that bigger picture, you'll notice that's really the only warning we have, but definitely keep an eye on these showers and storms, because as they continue to push eastward, they're actually going to become even more severe. They're actually going to move into more of a favorable environment for those severe storms to pop up. So there's that severe thunderstorm watch. This goes until 9 p.m. this evening. All of our counties are in this. Our eastern Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia counties are in this. So we are in an enhanced risk as well. That's actually a 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. We don't see that a lot around here, but you can see good portion really starting from Morgan County, Breathitt County, even down into parts of Bell County and eastward. All are in this enhanced risk and those winds. That's going to be a very high threat as we head into the rest of those afternoon and evening hours. Heavy rain is going to be a risk as well. So this really started right around 2 o'clock. We started seeing showers and storms popping up. And of course, we're going to continue this until 9 p.m. is when hopefully after that, we'll see that threat start to get out of here. But it's because of that cold front way out west. It's pushing these showers and storms into our area. But check out behind it. Drier air, clear conditions, those are on the way. But we got to get through these showers and storms first before we see a break in the rain. I promise a break is on the way too. You can see temperatures out west pretty warm here. They're still pretty warm as well, starting to cool down with those areas that have seen just a little bit more rain. But really those lower 80s across the area. But you can see over into Somerset, those lower 70s as like I said, those showers moving in, cooling them off just a little bit. So Future View suggests this line moving in until 6 o'clock. You can see moving into a good portion of our eastern counties. We'll have to keep an eye on the timing because we have seen this actually line of showers and storms start to speed up just a little bit. This showing by 8, 9 o'clock. Hopefully we will finally see a break, maybe even some clearing as we head into the overnight hours. So showing by 9 o'clock, hopefully we'll see most of those showers and storms out of our area. This going until about the early morning hours. Finally seeing some sunshine. Temperatures will start to cool down as we head into your Tuesday as well. So looking at the rest of that extended forecast, it's looking amazing, a lot better than we've seen the past couple of weeks. Those mid to upper 80s going to start to feel and look a lot like summer. Of course, we'll bring back those stray rain chances as we head into the weekend. But finally, Steve, we'll see a break after we get this line of showers and storms through our area.
All right, much needed break. Thank you.
Hey guys, Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel here with Brandon Robinson. We have a tornado warning. We're going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and take you guys to radar. This includes Clay County. This also includes Jackson, Owsley County. This goes until 4:45. If you are in this, you want to seek shelter immediately. Let's go ahead and start to zoom in on this, and we could start to, pull up single site here so we could see this warning. Once again, this is moving into parts of southern Jackson County. It looks like into parts of northern Clay County, but really moving into parts of Owsley County as well. And we're just seeing this is radar indicated. It looks like a tornado was capable, or really a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. This was located just over Malden, if I'm saying that correctly. That's about 9 miles southeast of McKee. It's moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. So we are seeing this tornado moving, once again, moving into parts of Clay County, Jackson County as well. And as you could see, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued until 4:45. We have a tornado warning. This is just a radar indicated right now. We do not have any reports of a tornado once again that we are seeing. This is just moving at northeast about 50 miles per hour. Once again, Clay, Jackson, Owsley County are in this warning, and this is a tornado warning capable of producing a tornado. So we are seeing that couplet, that red and green velocity couplet. Brandon's going to bring that up here, moving into parts of Owsley County. So here is that tornado warning once again. If you're in the Island City, if you're in the Blake community, you definitely need to be in your safe place. Sturgeon, if you are in the Sturgeon community, be in your safe place right now as we are seeing that tornado warning. Brandon, if you go ahead and pull up velocity so we can see.
Yeah, it's not showing a whole lot right now, actually.
Velocity is actually, yeah, so we're just seeing some very strong. So actually these lighter colors are showing just very strong winds. Usually we see that red and that green together, but really we're just seeing that green right now. Maybe this is a little bit of a couplet just south of Sturgeon, but once again, this is just moving into parts of Owsley County and into parts of Jackson, that southern Jackson County into Owsley County. So Island City is in this. We're seeing if you're in the Vine community, need to be in your shelter, need to be Zeke's Points, you need to be in your safe place right now, whether that is a basement, the lowest floor of your building. Definitely need to be in your safe place right now. Get in your safe place. If you do not have a basement, get into the most interior room of your home, whether that is a closet or a bathroom. Be in your safe place right now. Once again,
tornado safety tips page.
Here's our tornado safety tips. There it is, the lowest level of a basement, closet, hall, or bathroom, small room away from windows. Remember, always be away from windows. If you're in a vehicle, mobile home, try to get somewhere else where you can get into more of a safe structure. If you're in your car, you need to be lying in a flat ditch as your last resort. Let's go ahead and take you back to radar, where we are still seeing this severe storm, or the severe warning, or tornado warning. This goes until 4:45. So if you are in the Sturgeon community, be in your safe place right now. We're not picking up a pretty strong couplet on radar, but we are seeing just very strong winds with this. Usually we could be seeing this a little bit closer to the surface. Brandon, do we have any reports yet? Anything from the National Weather Service?
Let me check on that, but some areas, let's see here. No reports yet, but some areas to kind of take note of, Paige. I'm going to point these up for you right there. Anywhere along these kind of boundaries right there, there's one, and then I'll show you another one right here. Anywhere where that's kind of bowing out just a little bit, that's where you're going to see those stout winds. So just kind of keep that in mind. And of course, we've not seen, I'll take you back over to velocity real fast, but not a lot of rotation, at least gate to gate rotation, but we are seeing those stronger winds being indicated.
Yeah, so sometimes they can just kind of bow out a little bit, so very brief spin ups, and sometimes these can happen between radar scans. So it's probably why they went ahead and warned this, just because we are seeing very gusty winds. Like Brandon was noting, even check that out, it was just updated. You can kind of just see those little just divots is kind of the best way to explain that. So just very strong winds. Yes, right there. There you go. And then even like Island City, Sturgeon, if you're in between that, be in your safe safe place right now. Even just very gusty winds, even if a tornado is not on the ground, it's those gusty winds, straight line winds that can do just as much damage. So please get into your safe place. This is starting to move in once again. Island City, Sturgeon. Does that say 946, Highway 946 maybe?
Yep, Highway 11 too. Keep that in mind.
Yep.
That's kind of a more major road there in parts of that area. So make sure that if you're along Highway 11 and basically back toward 28 there, you're getting closer to parts of over that way, just kind of keep in mind if you're along those roads, it's getting ready to hit you. So just make sure you're in your safe spot right now.
Yeah, Ricetown, Cow Creek, Major, it's on its way to you. Be in your safe place right now. Once again, we're just seeing this very strong thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. This is all radar indicated. We have not had any reports of a tornado yet, but once again, you just want to be in your safe place. Really keeping an eye on this area. Once again, in between Sturgeon and Island City, just check out kind of how that divot's right there. If you can zoom in a little bit, there you go. Even the Blake community, there's another community in your safe place right now. You can just see even, I think it says 846.
Yeah, it's 846.
846. If you're on Highway 846, be in your safe place. The Taft community, South Fork, and that says, I can't even read that.
Yeah, it's Conkling.
Conkling?
Yeah,
I couldn't see it. Conkling. Be in your safe place right now. A tornado warning has been issued until about 4:45. Once again, that's the Sturgeon all the way down to Island City. Really keeping an eye, like I said, we were kind of talking about how this divots a little bit. Just very gusty winds. We could see those starting to rotate into that area. Yeah, there you go, Brandon. That's good. Yeah, just right here. This divot is the best way to kind of put it. It's not actually, this is not a typical hook signature that we usually see with tornado warnings. So this one's a little bit more different. But like I said, it's just could be producing some of that rotation right in that area. And even if it's not rotating, it's producing very gusty winds. And kind of what we've always talked about is straight line winds do just as much damage as tornadoes sometimes. So once again, be in your safe place. If you're from the Sturgeon all the way down to Island City, now it's starting to move into, it's starting to actually move a little bit more northeast. I think it said moving 50 miles per hour, Brandon?
Right, and let me point something out. Let me zoom out here just a hair. Boonville, which is the biggest city in Owsley County right there, is in the kind of in the path of this if it continues that northeast trek there. So if you're in Boonville, now is the time to get into your safe spot. Yeah,
Boonville, you can see, we just saw this. It was a lot more down here. It's definitely moving northeast. Does it say 50 miles per hour, Brandon?
It was, the last check, let's see here, tornado, 50 miles an hour, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour.
So you can see it's just north of that Blake community all the way into Sturgeon. Heavy rain moving into areas South Fork all the way down to Ricetown, Cow Creek, even up once again. Brandon said Boonville's just on the edge of this warning, but you need to be in your safe place. You are in this warning, and this is moving a northeast trend, so could be in Boonville in just a little bit, just some short minutes. Brandon, do you care to track this out for us?
Let me take those. That way you can actually see some of these communities impacted. Let me see if I can put a track on this. Give me just a second. So we're going here. I'll do it live on the air.
Yeah.
There we go. And then kind of, well, 440.
440. Boonville, it'll be on your door in about 10 minutes.
Yep.
About 10 minutes. So be in your safe place right now. Remember those safe places. You want to be in a basement. If you don't have a basement, the lowest floor of the home or the building, away from windows. You want to be in a bathroom or a closet. Just be far away from those windows and just be in your safe place now. If you are in this warning, this goes until 4:45. You can see all these communities anywhere from Boonville, Cow Creek, Ricetown, Taft, Major, and once again Sturgeon, Island City. You guys are seeing some very heavy rain that is starting to move into your area. So once again, that heavy rain is going to be also a concern, not only with the gusty winds. We've just been so saturated over the past couple of days. Not going to take a lot for that flash flooding, but there's that divot. Like I said, we're really focusing on this area right here, moving to the northeast. Boonville's in that, just right near Major. If you're in that area, you need to be in your safe place. And Highway 11, Brandon was saying earlier, if you are on Highway 11, especially just near the Major town or just north of that, once again, going to Boonville, you need to be in your safe place right now.
That's exactly right, Paige. And basically, of course, we mentioned about 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes now for Boonville there, but anywhere along Highway 11, 846 near Island City, just to the northeast. This is basically affecting mostly Owsley County at this point, so we're going to continue to watch that. But as you mentioned earlier, these storms are moving into a very favorable environment, so that's what we're kind of concerned about at this point. We'll see if this warning gets continued continued as we get past a little later on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see it get continued as we're talking about that favorable environment. The further east these storms are moved, the more they are expected to definitely increase a little bit. But there's again that little divot. You can see the really, really, really light colors with the darker colors. So we have them kind of starting to rotate a little bit, and that is probably why this was warned a tornado warn. It's not a very strong couplet like we typically see, or even if you were with us earlier that we saw in parts of Estill County, a very stronger couplet, but it's definitely still in that area. So once again, you just need to be in your safe place. If you're in the major community, once again, Boonville, that bigger city, definitely want to be in your safe place right now. Even Sturgeon, even into Island City, you guys are not in the clear yet. That warning is still in your area.
Let's see if I can get a little closer, see if we can see some more communities here. There's the Indy community. It's kind of on the north end of it there, but thankfully not a very populated area of Owsley County. So we're seeing that, of course, the biggest concern in those areas. There's Scoville, moving kind of in that general direction. Anywhere right here, I'm going to circle this for you. Let me move just a little bit further out. Anywhere that's in this area here, well, use the wrong one, sorry about that page.
There it goes. Just updated a little bit.
So anywhere in this area here, and then of course moving this direction of directly toward Boonville. So if you are in Boonville, it's time to be in your safe spot now. And again, anywhere with that kind of that couplet right there is what we're watching.
Yeah, and we just saw it even updated, still pushing that more very, very northeast. Boonville, you were right in the eye of this. Wouldn't be surprised to see this actually get extended a little bit more. But Owsley County, if you are in this, you definitely need to be in your safe place. It's just south of Levi. I would still definitely be in your safe place if you are in the Levi community. You're really just outside of this warning, but definitely
just
need to be.
New warning just came in, Paige.
There it goes.
They just extended. Let me get the track on it here, and let's see what that is. That is for Breathitt.
This is Breathitt?
Yeah, Breathitt. They extended into Breathitt County. So it still goes until 5, though.
This one goes until 5 o'clock now.
Put that back on there real quick. There we go. Yeah, till 5.
Okay, till 5 o'clock. So that's part of Breathitt County. The Shoulder Blade community need to be in your safe place right now. There's Jackson right there, not too far. So if you're in Jackson, you definitely need to be staying weather aware and start to get in your safe place. Because if this starts to hold, obviously a lot stronger, it's going to be moving into Jackson. Actually getting more of I feel like more of a hook echo the more it moves east. We're starting to see kind of that hook, which is just kind of that structure that we usually see when associated with tornado warning. So we have this one, Owsley County, 445. And then the other part until about 5 o'clock, and this definitely is the city of Boonville's in this as well.
That's right. So I kind of drew there kind of what we're looking at, what we're kind of continuing to look at, and of course Boonville is just off to the east there of that arrow.
It's about right here, right?
Yeah, I got to zoom back in there in just a second, but I wanted to show that warning, and we're going to get that on social media for our folks there, maybe watching over on Facebook as well. But let me clear this out, and I will take you back toward Boonville because that's the immediate concern right now.
Correct.
Let me turn this watch.
Yeah, we've just seen this become a lot more of a hook over really the past just couple of minutes. With every radar scan, I feel like it's starting to get a little bit more severe, so we're definitely got to keep an eye on it. But there's Boonville. Brandon was talking about in your safe place now. If you are in the Boonville community, you need to be in your safe place. You guys are under actually 2 tornado warnings right now, but once again, it's this kind of little couplet or really just notch here that we're watching moving into parts of Boonville right now.
Exactly, that one right there actually is the one we're kind of watching.
Yeah.
And we're going to continue to kind of keep an eye on this too, because anywhere you see a notch, I'll point both these out here for you. Anywhere you see a notch like that, at the very least, is possibility for damaging winds, very strong winds. So again, that's what we're concerned about at this time. And if you folks over in Breathitt County, you need to be getting into your safe spot now too as well.
Yeah, the Cows Creek community still in this Eversole, even into La Rosa, I think that's what that says.
It's Lee Rose.
Lee Rose, sorry. Those communities definitely need to be in your safe place. You're under that tornado warning as well. It's been extended. Jets Creek community as well. So all of you need to be in your safe place. But Boonville, in your safe place right now. The threat's on your front door, and you just need to be into the lowest level of your home, whether that's a basement or into a closet or even into a bathroom. That is where you need to be right now in the city of Boonville, as you guys are under a tornado warning, and just a storm capable of producing a tornado is possible. This is moving to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour. So North Court Street, if you're anywhere near that, once again, Brandon was talking about those little notches that we're just keeping an eye on. Even if they're not rotating, they are producing very, very gusty winds. And once again, those straight line winds can do just as much damage. So you can see the strongest of the storm storm moving through Boonville right now, just north of South Folk into the Eversole community. If you're in that community, be in your safe place right now. If you're on Highway 28, I think is what that says, need to be in your safe place right now as this storm is pushing into your area. Once again, it's moving to the north and to the east as well. So we're going to see that continuing to move into parts of Breathitt County here in just a little bit and out into Owsley County. But yeah, Boonville.
Let's go right there into Boonville, and of course Court Street, as you mentioned, 2811. If you're anywhere along 11 or 28, you should already been in your safe spot on 11 there. But on 28, if you're that way, 30 going back into Breathitt County there, back toward Jackson, between Jackson and Boonville there in Owsley County. So you need to be in those safe spots right now. But those are the areas that we're most concerned with. Of course, down here near Chestnut Gap, there's another area in eastern Owsley County right there, and Eversole, you also need to be in your safe spots.
Yeah, guys, remember that is the lowest interior of the home. If you are in a mobile home and if you're into the communities of Breathitt County, even into Jackson, I'd already be starting to get a plan to maybe try to go somewhere else. And we're seeing this warning has definitely been extended. Once again, that's until 5 o'clock. So you can see Shoulder Blade community. And Jackson's actually not in this right now, but not too far from it. So we're going to have to keep an eye on them.
It's moving that general direction,
yeah,
too.
it's going to be moving into the north, into the east. And there's kind of that little notch there. Or maybe even keeping an eye on this one up here. We're just seeing those notches as this just strong line of storms. We were talking about this kind of earlier, just those brief spin-ups is what we could be seeing with this just line moving through, and we're not in the clear yet.
Exactly, and of course the severe thunderstorm warning was continued for Breathitt, Clay, Lee, Owsley, Perry, Wolf until 5. New update on that there, and you can see the boxes overlapping there. But a lot of activity in Boonville right now, probably getting heavy rain and lots of strong winds. So hopefully we'll get some reports out of Boonville if there's anything going on. Nothing on the chat right now page, so that's some good news, because if we see those reports coming in already, then it's not a good thing.
Can we bring up velocity again?
We sure can. Give me just a second. There you go.
All right, so this is, once again, check out just this kind of just very small, very small couplet, but check out those just very bright colors too. Like that is what is showing just very gusty winds as well. But it's just these they're kind of very hard to see. But when you have those couplets together, that's what helps create that rotation at the surface. And this is close to the radar as well, so which is probably why we're not picking up the actually best couplet, why we're not seeing those reds and those greens together. But since it is close to the radar, that means that we are seeing that rotation closer to the ground. So we're seeing that just near Boonville. You can see just south of Boonville, you're seeing the light green and the darker greens together. So that is kind of what's helping almost show a little bit of rotation. And this once again keeps tracking to the north and east. So if you're in Boonville, you better be in your safe place right now. Cows Creek community in your safe place, up to the Stay community, anywhere in between that onto Highway 30, you need to be in your safe place right now.
Exactly. And of course we've got those 2 tornado warnings ongoing right now. The first one, it's 4:39, so 4:45 if they let that expire, which would not surprise me. I think they'll focus more on the one till 5 o'clock at this point, because those areas covered in the 4:45 warning are getting hammered right now. So you're seeing also lots of lightning. These storms are very electrical, so just kind of keep that in mind as well. Don't be outside. Be in a safe spot. Shouldn't be outside regardless, but you definitely don't want to be outside right now, especially in areas like Boonville, Lower Buffalo up there in Lee County. You got Cow Creek right there on the Owsley going into parts of Breathitt County border right there. But if you're along 30 between Boonville, or if you know somebody who lives along 30 between Boonville and Jackson, tell them to get in a safe spot. Get off of the road and get in a safe spot. And also 28 going back down into parts of even Breathitt County going into Perry County, that area as well.
Yeah, definitely just need to be in your safe places. Starting to move into parts of eastern Owsley County, and there's that line into Breathitt County. That's where we're going to be keeping an eye on next. There it is, updated once again. Moving into parts of, if you're in the Jets Creek community, you need to be in your safe place right now. This has already moved through Boonville, Eversole, Cows Creek. You guys are seeing very heavy rain right now, but definitely could still be seeing that gusty winds. We're going to go ahead and track this out. Let's good, Brandon, into Jets Creek. 4:46. You have about 5 to 6 minutes on this warning, so you need to be in your safe place right now. Brandon was mentioning earlier, it's not looking like it's moving into parts of Breathitt County, maybe not totally populated, but once again, it just moved through parts of Boonville and could be even moving into the city of Jackson here soon.
That's why when we put that track on there, you're not seeing a lot pop up with time, because it's a very not populated area, but there's still people that live out there. So if you know those people live out there, make sure you're warning them, make sure that they're taking care.
Turkey community definitely need to be in your safe place as well. Down to Houston, Turkey, Jets Creek. we're seeing that you definitely need to be in your safe place. You guys are in that tornado warning that expires at 5 o'clock. Wouldn't be surprised to see that get extended, but once again, we're going to be keeping an eye on that. Does that say Lone?
Yes, Lone.
Lone, definitely need to be in your safe place. You're just outside of it, but still, the way that this is tracking, it's actually been moving, I feel like, more and more northeast.
Yeah.
So even I wouldn't be surprised to see it go just north of Jetts Creek, but definitely that Jetts Creek community definitely need to be in your safe place.
Let me zoom in a little closer, see if we can see any smaller communities. There's Athol, which is basically right on the Breathitt County line there. That was a community that is no stranger to severe weather, had some of their own back there a little while back. I believe it was in the late 90s there, had a active event there. But again, this is going in from Owsley County into parts, just a sliver of Lee County, and then eventually going over into Breathitt County. But again, as we zoom in here, you really don't see a whole lot of population.
Is that southeastern Lee County?
Yes, southeastern Lee County right there. That's where the Lone community is. Just you zoom back out, you see it's south and east of Beattyville, which is the county seat over in Lee County. But going through Lee Rose right now, it's already been through Boonville, still going through Boonville right now. So as we mentioned, let's go back in a little closer there. Jetts Creek, Lone, anywhere back toward Highway 52 now, because again, this is pulling. Let me put the arrow on it. This is pulling this direction.
Yeah, it's been moving very, very northeast. It's been keeping that trend. So once again, that Jetts Creek community definitely need to be in your safe place right now. War Creek, it looks like that could be the next place that this could be extended into. But what's this highway? 82? Is that what it says?
Here. That's 52.
52?
Yeah, that's 52.
Highway 52, it's moving right into that area. So if you know anyone on the Highway 52 area, definitely need to be in their safe place as well. They are in this warning until about 5 o'clock. So the Jetts Creek community, all the way to Highway 52 to even that War Creek, you can just see this area right here. That's what we're expecting, this notch, this little notch that we just keeping an eye on move. It keeps moving northeast and keeps pretty holding strong as well. We've seen that notch really continue all the way from Owsley County now into Breathitt County, moving at, looks like it's starting to move out of that line of Owsley County into Breathitt County as well.
The 445 warning just got canceled a couple minutes early, so now we're focused on this one until 5 o'clock. Let's see here. That goes, of course, for Breathitt and parts of Lee and Owsley. So this is moving out of, like say, the Boonville area, the more populated areas of Owsley County, but now moving into Breathitt County. So again, if you're along Highway 52, if you're along 30, in those areas, again, this is pulling off to the northeast. Lee Rose going through right now. Athol up in Breathitt County there, getting ready to see that there. And then, excuse me, as we go over Chenoweth over there in Breathitt County, you're in that box, Grant and Turkey. But again, most of this, as I'll put the arrow back on it real fast here for you, Paige, is moving kind of in this general direction. So Chenoweth will be right there on the edge of it. But anywhere you're seeing right here, all of this is very strong wind. So even, let's go back over to, actually just update it again. So let's go back over to velocity and let you talk about that for a second.
Yeah, there we go. It's kind of very broad, which is a little bit of some good news, but it's still just kind of those, it's really hard to see, you guys, but it's definitely those darker colors and lighter colors together. But like I kind of explained earlier, it's moving closer to the radar. So that means it's closer to the ground. So we're kind of just seeing this just very broad, like, rotation, those lighter colors, those lighter greens with the darker greens. That's kind of what we're keeping a really, really close eye on, but just very gusty winds like we were kind of talking about earlier. Even if it's not rotating, just very straight line winds, that's going to be our really big concern, because that can do just as much damage. We've seen that multiple times here in the mountains, that straight line winds can do damage. We've seen that really over the past couple of days, just isolated areas seeing some issues. But if you're in the Turkey Creek community to Cope Branch, you need to be in your safe place right now. We're checking out this notch. It is, Brandon, it's becoming a lot more widespread now.
Exactly, and that's in some ways it's just maybe kind of a good news situation, because maybe it's more broad rotation instead of, you know, that tight rotation that you see with a tornado. But as you mentioned, we're seeing that getting closer to the Jackson radar. The closer you get to the radar, the harder it is for it to see that rotation there, that spin. But anywhere, let me keep drawing the line here, because these are the areas. Again, this is not a very populated area, but right here, anywhere along this notch, and you see Turkey right there. You got Cope Branches, Paige mentioned, 52, 30. Again, we can't stress those areas right there. At the very least, you're seeing very strong winds coming through. And
you could even see, I'm going to go ahead and move, there's Jackson right there. So it's just outside of this warning. So really just need to be keeping an eye on that area as well. We could possibly see that warning go into parts of Jackson, obviously very heavy populated. So if you're in that area, be prepared to get into your safe place, because even, like I said, gusty winds are coming. And Brandon, we've just seen so much rain really over the past just couple of days. It's not going to take a lot of those gusty winds to really just knock down, whether that's trees or anything like that, because those trees can go pretty easily with just these small gusty winds, just because those grounds are so saturated.
Exactly. Let's see. Oh, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning. I actually missed that one, so let's put this back on there and we'll get it out for you folks on social media. Goes until 5:30 for Breathitt, Lee, Magoffin, and Wolf. So we'll zoom out and kind of give you a more regional view there so we can see what's going on. Let's take it up that way. So
I bet they issued it for this storm. They're probably expecting this warning to expire at 5. We're not for sure yet, but since that rotation once again is becoming a little bit more on the broad side, we're seeing that notch becoming more broad. We could be seeing that it actually start to expire. Brendan's socialing this out, but that severe thunderstorm warning goes until 5:30. Once again, that includes Breathitt, Lee, Magoffin, and Wolfe County. And I can't stress this enough, but we should be taking severe thunderstorm warnings just as serious as tornado warnings. We've seen microbursts here in eastern Kentucky a couple of times. Those obviously produce just as much damage as tornadoes do. And once again, it's those straight line winds. We've been talking about that really all week or over the past couple of days since we've issued a severe weather alert day. Those really straight line winds that do just as much damage as tornadoes sometimes, but we are still seeing a little bit of that notch becoming more widespread. Like I said, that's a little bit of some good news though as we head into the rest of those as we head into the next couple of minutes. So we still have a little bit over 10 minutes on this tornado warning, and that is until 5 o'clock. But this will start to move into parts of Jackson here soon. Even if it's not tornado warned, it will still be severe warned and definitely still can produce those gusty winds.
Let me take that query off and then we'll zoom.
Jackson's still continuing this tornado warning until 5 o'clock.
Right, holding it to the top of the hour.
Yep, they're going to hold it. So it says it's moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. I know
So
when it was first issued, it was 50, so it is slowing down just a little bit.
Okay, so we're going to take you back in. Shoulder Blade, Chenoweth, those areas right now. I keep mentioning highways 52 and 30. Of course, right here, I mean, draw the kind of the line there. This is 52. This is 30. Because I know those numbers can be a little bit small at times. So those are the two highways, and of course Shoulder Blade, and anywhere along basically all the way down through here is definitely at the very least gusty winds. So just kind of take those precautions, make sure that you're in your safe spot. Paige, it's just one of the situations that we're going to continue to see some of these storms move into those more favorable environments.
And that's the thing, that enhanced risk was issued for a good eastern part of our area. These storms that are moving in are just in the slight risk, which is still severe, 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, but the more favorable environment is still out to the east. So we're going to have to keep an eye on these storms as they continue to push east. And now that we're moving closer to the radar site, it's going to hinder us a little bit as well.
Exactly. And you see, the beam scanning the sky there. You see the little bit of to the north there of the radar. You can see that little kind of spreading. So the closer you get to the radar, the harder it's going to be to see that velocity marker. So again, Jackson, even past Jackson out toward Rusal, and then areas to the north parts there of Jackson there. You want to make sure that you're taking your precautions. As we mentioned, just treat a severe thunderstorm warning as a tornado warning, kind of, or at least to have the possibility of that, especially in those areas that are still right along the path of this storm.
Yeah, and once again, it's that notching that Brandon and I are talking about. You can kind of see it, the little notch that we've been seeing moving in two parts. That's what we're keeping a close eye on. Usually we talk about hook echoes. You guys are probably pretty familiar with those. That's not what we're seeing with this particular tornado warning. It's more that straight line with those little notches in it, and that's going to be really the concern as we head into the rest of those evening hours, because as this line moves through, they're going to start to bow out a little bit, and brief spin-ups are going to happen. They can happen even between radar scans. So that's kind of what we say to keep those severe thunderstorm warnings, or take them just as seriously as tornado warnings, because sometimes, like I said, between those radar scans, we can sometimes see those warnings pop up.
They updated the severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, which is not surprising, but that's the one for Breathitt, Lee, Magoffin, and Wolfe until 5:30.
Okay, so that is until 5:30. They do have a tornado possible tag on it, and once again, it's just going to be harder to see, because you can see as we're moving closer to the radar, we're starting to see this notch go away, and that's just because we're moving closer to the radar. It's harder to see this storm develop as it goes over the radar site. Hopefully by the time it gets through Jackson and that, we'll have a better idea of kind of what this storm is doing. But if you're in Jackson, and tornado tag means that there is a possibly this could still be forming a tornado, so you still definitely need to be in your safe place right now. Jackson's in that now, so you definitely want to be in your safe place if you're in the Jackson community, into the Wolverine, all the way down into Noctor, Portsmouth, all of those areas. You need to be in your safe place right now.
Exactly. If you live along Highway 15, just south of or just north of Jackson, be in a safe place. Anywhere like you're going back toward Campton, be in a safe place that way. Of course, this is not for Wolfe County at this point, but again, that's the road that travels toward Wolfe County there, going up toward the Mountain Parkway in Campton. And of course, as Paige has mentioned, we're getting closer to the radar, so it's going to be harder to see. And there's Frozen Creek, can get a little closer on some of these communities here that's getting ready to get affected. I'm not sure how to pronounce that one, so I'm not going to. But you can see the community right there. And of course, Jackson right there in the crosshairs as well. Then you've got Wolverine.
Highway 30.
That's Highway 30 coming into Jackson there, and along Highway 15, 52 meets 30 right there. So that's the areas. If you're familiar with Jackson, that's close to the McDonald's up there, Douthit Park, those areas. Again, that storm is moving in that general direction. Of course, downtown Jackson. Getting ready to see that there. And then all the way back down, we zoom out just a hair. I'm not going to zoom out too far because I don't want to lose some of these communities. But all this right here, all this notching is basically areas you need to be concerned with. And that basically covers a huge, huge area all the way through most of Breathitt County. So
yeah, we definitely could be seeing a little bit there. It goes updated a little bit, and we're going to see that notching start to go away, and that's just because we're getting closer to the radar side. That doesn't mean that notching is not there anymore. It's just going to be definitely harder to see. It's going to become a little bit smaller too. You can see a little bit of a notch there, a little bit of one there, and like I said, it's just going to be those brief spin ups along that main line that we're going to have to keep an eye on. And like I said, even if this isn't producing a rotation, it's still producing very gusty winds, straight line winds, and we know straight line winds can do just as much damage as a tornado can do. All
right, Paige, we have a new tornado warning, and it's not even in this area. So I'm going to zoom down here, take you back out for parts of Claiborne County in East Tennessee. So let's take a look at that one real fast. We'll go back up to the other one here in a second, but let me put the query on here. This goes until 5:15. It's the very southern tip.
Sliver.
Yep, of Claiborne County, Tennessee there. So
that includes a little bit of 25 east, I think that is.
I think so. Yep, just a little bit coming out of Middlesboro, going down through Harrogate and on down back toward Morristown there. So that's a tornado warning until 5:15. Let me
just south of the Big Barren community. If you're in that in Claiborne County, just south of you, definitely need to be in your safe place. It looks like this one's moving to the northeast as well.
Yep, it is. And let's see what pull up Morristown's chat here. That is moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour.
We can see it actually has more of that hook that we were talking about earlier, that signature. It's looking a lot more like a hook over there.
I'll draw
but definitely Claiborne County. You could see just that kind of very just southern tip of Claiborne County. But since this is moving, once again, there it is. Since it is moving northeast, definitely could be moving into that area in just the next little bit. This goes until 5:15. It's almost 5 o'clock now. I'd say we still have 20 minutes on this warning, and it could be in Claiborne County here in the next few minutes.
So let's reset real fast, kind of take the wide view and kind of show you what's active right now. Of course, we have the tornado warnings, the two ones we're focused on. We've got the one until 5 o'clock for parts of Breathitt, Owsley, and Lee counties, and we have the new tornado warning until 5:15 for parts of southern Claiborne County. So let's go back up to this one here. Let me get the box here. I can zoom back in. Of course, we've got the severe thunderstorm warning until 5:30. It has that tornado possible tag on it as well.
Yeah, and then we're seeing this storm, like I said, since it's moving closer to the radar site, it's not looking the best, and we don't have a really good eye on it, which is not the best as it moves into parts of Jackson County. But if you are in Jackson, you need to be in your safe place, because even this severe thunderstorm warning has tornado tag on it. So if you're in any of these communities from all the way Cow Creek, you guys are looking like you're in the clear now, but if you're in the Canoe to Jackson, all the way down to Hardshell, and even in parts of almost all of Breathitt counties in this warning, you just need to be in your safe place, because even like I said, those gusty winds are moving through right now. Even if it is not tornadic, it's gusty winds that could still do just as much damage. And once again, knocking down those trees, it's not going to take a lot for trees to get knocked down. Those grounds are just super saturated. We've been super saturated over the past week or so, so it's not going to take a lot for those gusty winds to knock down some trees and stuff. But that is moving into Breathitt County now, into Jackson. If you're in Jackson, you need to be in your safe place right now. We are seeing those very gusty winds. Once again, we're just keeping an eye on those little notches moving through, and since this is moving closer to the radar, it's harder for us to see exactly where those notches are.
They let the tornado warning go for Breathitt, Lee, and Owsley. Expired it a little bit early, but we still have the severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado tag.
Okay, so this has been expired. It'll get off of our map here in a little bit. It takes just a little bit, but once again, this still has the tornado tag on it, and it's going to be hard to see. Like I was kind of talking about those notches, it's kind of hard to see that. It's kind of hard to see where that rotation is, because we are so close to the radar. So if you're in Jackson, be in your safe place right now. Anywhere in Breathitt County, if you are just east of Jackson, it's going to be moving into your area very, very soon. You need to be once again in your safe place. And if you don't know what your safe place is, you need to be away from windows. You need to be in the most southern part or the most bottom part of your home, whether that is a basement. And if you do not have a basement, the most interior part of your house, whether that is a closet or even a bathroom, getting into the bathtub. I know people like to get into the bathtub, maybe pull a mattress over you if you are in this warning. And once again, this is just moving into Jackson. They're seeing pretty gusty winds right now.
And I'm not seeing any reports yet, so that's some good news. Of course, we also have, I missed it earlier, a severe thunderstorm warning for Campbell County. That goes until, that's in East Tennessee, by the way. That goes until, let me find that one there, 5:30. So we'll get that on social media here in a second. But yeah, of course, we have this one, the tornado tag on this severe thunderstorm warning, and we have the active tornado warning in parts of Claiborne County, Tennessee.
Yeah, that tornado warning down in Claiborne, Tennessee is the southern part of Claiborne. So if you know anyone in that community, definitely call them, tell them that they are under a tornado warning and they need to seek shelter immediately. Brandon, zooming back out for us. There it is. You can see just a very big, a little small sliver of that tornado warning. It's showing a pretty nice hook on that as well. That's going to be moving. If you're the Big Barren community, it's just south of you. I would still be in your safe place though, because this has been trending more to the north and to the east. I wouldn't be surprised to see it just hit parts of Big Barren, especially south of that as well. Not sure of is there any more communities really in this area, Brandon?
Let me look and see. I'm just trying to give you a, this is south of Harrogate, I can tell you that. There's New Tazewell.
New Tazewell. Just
Sharps
south of
Chapel. I think Sharps Chapel is in, you're the East Tennessee native. What's the county there below Claiborne and Campbell? I think that's where Sharps Chapel is, but that's not in our coverage area.
Yeah, that's not in our area.
But actually, that may be, that might be part of Campbell County. I'm not sure. But yeah, but for right now, the Big Barren community, and of course, it's going to just skirt south of New Tazewell there into parts of southern Claiborne County.
If you're in the Lone Mountain area, you need to be in your safe place. Hurst Mill, you guys are right on the edge of that. But once again, this has been trending more northeast, so we're going to have to keep an eye on our friends down into very southern Claiborne County, as you guys are under a tornado warning until 5:15. Is that correct, Brandon?
5:15. Let's see here what we've got. New update from them. 5:15 for the Claiborne. That's Granger County or Union County. It's one of those for Sharps Chapel. But anyway, that's out of our area. But Claiborne for 5:15. I'm trying to see here if it's moving north or moving east at 40 miles per hour. So it's trending a little bit more east now on that warning. So let's go back to this other one here we've been tracking near Jackson to kind of zoom here and tell you about that a little bit more, because that still has that tornado warning tag or tornado tag on that severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, McGoffin's in this as well. So it's going to be moving into the town of Worrellton soon, but it's moving through Jackson and even into parts of eastern Breathitt County. That's what we're going to have to be keeping an eye on. Once again, looks like a pretty good area of McGoffin is in this, and they're dealing with some of that heavy rain, but this is kind of the storm that's a little bit more tornadic that we are keeping an eye on, that once again has that tornado tag on it. Was tornado warned earlier, now just a severe thunderstorm warning, but with a tornado tag on it. And once again, it's close to the radar. It's hard for us to see just exactly where those notches were that we were kind of showing you a little bit ago. So it's going right over the radar site right now. That's why you're kind of seeing that dead space right over the radar, because the radar can't scan above itself. It sends the beam out through the atmosphere left, around it 360 degrees, but it doesn't scan upwards. So that's why you're seeing that break there in the action, and it'll start coming out on this side again as you're starting to notice there. But that's why you're seeing that. I just wanted to mention that real quick. Yeah, and I'm sure if we get any reports, we'll hear about them pretty soon. The National Weather Service is right there, so they're about to get hit with this pretty severe storm. So hopefully we'll get in some reports in just a little bit. But this will be moving into parts of Breathitt County. This still moving to the northeast, could be moving into Salyersville here in the next little bit. That's right. Salyersville, Royalton, along the Mountain Parkway, if you're up that way. Now this is just a severe thunderstorm warning, but it does have that tornado possible tag on it. So very strong storm. They use that wording to indicate that the stronger possibility is there. Not enough confidence for a tornado warning, but enough confidence to say, hey, this is a little bit more serious than just a regular severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, we are definitely going to see. Hopefully by the time it gets past that radar site, we'll probably have a better idea of exactly what's going on with this storm. A little bit kind of
playing the waiting game, which is not fun right now.
Exactly. So we're keeping an eye on that one. And, of course, we're still watching our friends down in southern Claiborne County. We'll hold off on going back to that one for a second. We'll stay with this one. But, again, Mountain Parkway, 460. What else is up that way? 7 if you're going between
Highway
Royalton
7.
and Salyersville.
30.
Yep, 30 going from over from Jackson to Salyersville. So lots of different ways you can get into Salyersville there. But if you know anybody living in Salyersville along the Mountain Parkway right there, of course, we know that we have a lot of folks in Salyersville who get nervous when they see warnings like this because of 2012. This is not 2012. This is not even close to that situation. I know a lot of folks up there get nervous, though, so we just want to reassure you that this is a strong storm, but it's nowhere near like what we saw before. But again, it's not one you want to let your guard down for. Let me throw the tips up there. Actually, we'll wait on that for a little bit, but we're just kind of tracking this storm as it continues to move toward McGoffin County at this point.
Yeah, you guys still, once again, we kind of always say that you want to treat these severe thunderstorm warnings just as serious as tornado warnings. And we, especially with this one having a tornado tag on it, still be in your safe place, stay weather aware. Once again, Salyersville, a pretty bigger city that's in this warning. The threat isn't to you quite yet, moving still through Jackson, but you guys are about to see just some heavy rain and probably some gusty winds with this smaller storm ahead of it. But once again, the storm's right over the radar site, which is why we're not seeing anything right there. So that's going to continue to push to eastern Breathitt County. So it's kind of hard for us to know what's going on in that area. But once again, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. And Jackson's obviously right there keeping an eye on it as well. And
the good news is that we've still not gotten any reports. And that's people are like, well, why? Well, that's great news because nobody's called them in. Nobody's called them into the Weather Service. Nobody. And let me check social media real fast here, and just to make sure that we haven't gotten any on our social media. Let's see here. I haven't seen any on your account, and if you're on anybody, but just make sure that you, if you see anything, please send those in to us. And
if you can safely send us reports, send them our way so we can get them out to everyone else as well and know if we are seeing a tornado, because all of these tornado warnings are typically radar indicated. We're not sure if anything has touched down, so once we get that confirmation too, it helps us better get that information out to you guys. But yeah, we're definitely still keeping an eye on this severe warn storm moving over the radar site right now, just moving through parts of Jackson, moving through the National Weather Service, and that's moving into parts of northeastern Breathitt County into McGoffin County as well. And we are seeing that moving into, if you're in the Royalton community up to Salyersville, that you definitely need to be in your safe place right now. And once again, it's just hard for us to see here on the radar site, waiting for that to move through. So it's just in that dead space is kind of what Brandon said earlier, which is the best way to explain it. You're seeing that move over the radar site right now. Okay, so we're tracking, we're going to continue to kind of focus on the McGoffin County side of this because this is, it's crossing the radar side. It's getting close over that way. Okay. All right. So, of course, we're getting reports of some strong wind, and we're getting some reports on the chat and via the police scanner, but we're not going to mention those yet on air because these are not confirmed, but our newsroom just brought a note in for us. But, of course, the wind has been very strong with these storms moving through, and that's why they've continued this severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado tag on it, tornado possible tag, until 5:30. I think it's 5:30. I've lost my warning there. Yes. 5:30. 5:30, and we're going to continue to watch that. But again, areas back up toward the Mountain Parkway, over towards Salyersville, 460, Royalton, those areas. Again, it's crossing that radar, and you're seeing more of that over there. But some strong wind reports in Jackson, strong wind reports coming through Breathitt County. So again, we're just kind of continuing to watch that and seeing what is possibly going on with this system. But of course, let's reset. Let's just kind of show you while we're waiting on that to cross the radar site, what we have. We have the active tornado warning in Claiborne County, the southern part of Claiborne County. Let me zoom back into that there until 5:15, I believe that is. And that it's looking a little bit more disorganized. Yeah, exactly. And that's good news. We like to hear that because that means, and that's basically right there. You see that radar beam. That's Morristown's radar beam, the National Weather Service Morristown. So that's looking a little bit more disorganized, as Paige just mentioned. But these storms are very electrical. I know a lot of folks I've seen like to go out and take pictures during the storm, like on a covered porch. Don't do that because lightning can get you even in your house. So if you're around a certain thing, so just kind of keep that in mind that you need to be safe about this. If you can send us reports safely, we always encourage that. But again, this is kind of like you said, becoming a little bit more disorganized. So we'll zoom out and kind of reset for the whole region because I know folks are probably asking, what about my area? What about my area? Right now, if we're not talking about you, that's a good news. Yeah. That's a good thing. So those areas we've been talking about, of course, we'll zoom in just a little bit, take you on a little bit of a tour here real quick.
stronger storms moving through parts of several counties, getting ready to come into Hazard, Harlan, Hyden. You're seeing some pretty good stuff right now. Again, no warnings on these, and then we'll go back down toward Middlesboro. Again, a lot of areas to the west have already been worked over from earlier activities, and we're waiting to see here. They may end up canceling part of that severe thunderstorm watch to the west, but again, that's not happened yet. But we're going up through here, kind of just scanning as we go over toward West Liberty. You didn't see a whole lot this time. A little bit of a brief action came through there, but it's heading toward Paintsville now. Again, not warned on that just yet. And then we see as we go down toward Pikeville, all that's still well west of you at this point. So again, that's just kind of a brief tour. But let's go back into this cell because it's getting further past the radar right now, and we're starting to see it show up again.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a better idea here in a little bit. It's hard to see with that radar, so it still has that tornado tag on it. If you remember, this was warned, tornado warned before it moved into even parts of Breathitt County when it was moving into parts of Owsley County. So that is why it still has that tornado tag on it. It still is capable of producing a tornado because we've seen that signature really stick with it. It's those little notches that we were kind of showing you earlier, because this isn't a typical tornado warning that you're probably used to seeing where we're seeing a hook. It's just that straight line and those notches that we are seeing, and Brendan's kind of drawing that out there. Those could be creating just those brief spin ups, and those could even be happening during radar scans too. So that's moving into the Faulkner community in just a little bit. If you're in that area, definitely be in your safe place, because even though this isn't a tornado warning, this is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado tag on it. You could see just heavy rain is really going to be moving your way, and those gusty winds, and those could be rotating at times as well.
Let's put a track on and see if we can figure out some communities here. So 4 Acre looks like 515, Hendricks at 520. Let me clear that and get a little further out to kind of give folks maybe in Salyersville a little bit of a time frame there of when it could start affecting them. So right here, I'm going to grab the track one more time, and then we'll go out towards Salyersville to the northeast.
And Jackson has continued this severe thunderstorm warning with tornado tag possible on it for Breathitt, Magoffin, and Wolfe County.
And that's until 5:30. I think maybe Wolfe was just added. Or is it? No, they issued it, and then no, wait, let's see here. I'm trying to figure out if they added Wolfe or no, it was always in there. I was always in there. Yep. So here's the latest. Well, it updated, so I got to retrack it. Hold on just a second. This is why we track these out for you, because this happens in pretty quick time. So here we go. 524 Salyersville. So that gives you about let's say 10 minutes. That way, make sure you get plenty of time to get into your safe spot. It's 5:08 right now, but the next 10 minutes you need to be getting into your safe spot. Again, 528 Mash Fork there, Sublet at 520, Hendricks at 518, and 4 Acre at 513. So that's about a little less than 10 minutes away from those areas. So just kind of continue to monitor that. And Paige, we're still tracking the potential for some of these storms again, because some areas have not been hit yet, and it's still kind of a favorable environment. It's been warm today. It's been sunny today, so you know what that means.
Yeah, especially those areas you kind of mentioned, Paintsville, like Johnson County, down into Floyd County, parts of Pike County. That's going to be the next area we're really going to start to keep an eye on. So if you're in that area, be weather aware. You're not under any warnings yet, but this is tracking towards your area. And if you're in that area, you know that you've seen a lot of sunshine today, haven't seen any rain. It's the one we keep talking about, this moving into a more favorable environment, and that's the environment I was keeping a close eye on earlier today. I was talking about just parts of Floyd County into northern Pike County. Johnson County was an area we were going to keep an eye on, but we're already seeing these popping up just a little bit west of those areas. But Salyersville, you guys are getting hit with just heavy rain right now. Definitely some lightning, gusty winds, but we're really still keeping an eye on that storm a little bit just further back. And once again, it's those little notches that we've just been keeping an eye on, and that's why that tornado tag is on it, because some of those little brief spin-ups we could be seeing in front of that main line. And
basically anywhere along all of this, that's where you could see all that kind of moving in this general direction to the northeast there. So just pointing that out. So Salyersville, like again, about 5:30, close to it there. Excuse me. You'll be seeing that there. So again, now is the time to get into your safe spot.
Yeah. So we're starting to see at least the gusty winds moving out of parts of Breathitt County and into Magoffin County as well. This does have a history of producing very gusty winds. We've seen just a few reports. We're going to wait to get those confirmed, but we do officially know that gusty winds are definitely moving through the area. Whether those are tornadic or not, we are not sure. But even like we've just been preaching tonight, those gusty winds, those straight line winds can do just as much damage as a tornado. So we do know for sure that leading edge of this is definitely producing very gusty winds.
Exactly. And I'm zooming in a little bit there, Paige, while you were talking, kind of looking at what parts of Wolfe County were included. Basically the very southern tip of Wolfe County. So not a whole lot of populated areas in the Wolfe County.
Okay.
Yeah, right here near Canal City. Up
Okay,
that
just
way.
south
That's
of it.
just south of it there. That's kind of where the warning box kind of tapers off.
It's kind of hard to see it if you guys can't see it. I'll kind of draw it right there. That's kind of like,
I tell you what, I'll help you out just a second.
it just shows a little bit of that sliver. Oh, there it is. So
There
you
it
can
is.
see just a very sliver. So if you're on the really Wolf County into the
McGoffin
County, you definitely need to be in your safe place because you guys are kind of in that as well. It kind of almost does the border of McGoffin County, includes a little bit of Wolf County as well.
And we're getting past more of the storm past the radar site now. It's went through the Rusaw area of Breathitt County, going out 30 into McGoffin County now. So again, anywhere along this line right here. Let me zoom out just a hair before I draw that because there's a bigger section of that I want to highlight. Let's see if I can do this here. Basically, from here, any notch all the way down through here.
Yeah.
So any of this, I know this is a big line, but anywhere along that line is basically stout winds, to say the least.
Yeah, so you can just see kind of those little bit of notches. And even Brandon, it's almost, we can almost say bowing just a little bit. You can kind of hear us talk about that sometimes. And bowing segments typically more associated with straight line winds, but they do create those just very, very brief spin ups. Sometimes they happen in between radar scans, so sometimes we don't even see them popping up. So that's why, once again, severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado tag on it, because it's definitely possible with just how strong these winds are and just how much of these just little notches that we're just kind of seeing really throughout this main line.
And here's the thing too, I know folks in Sayersville are like, oh, we're getting slammed right now. You're getting the leading edge of this storm. You're getting a pretty good little soaker, but it's just rain, it's just some stout wind, it's just a little bit of lightning. The main storm that we're continuing to track is just to the south and west of you and moving your way, so that'll be probably still a few more minutes before that reaches you. Let me put that track back on there again, because I know a lot of folks, and trust me, McGoffin County folks, I know exactly why that you have anxiety about when storms come through. I went through it with you, but looking at Sayersville at 5:22, so about 10 minutes from right now, it's 5:12 at the moment. You got Lakeville there at 5:19, Hendricks at 5:16, and Mash Fork at 5:26. So again, some of the areas that will be impacted by this storm. And again, this warning, I'm going to zoom back out here just a little bit, Paige, and I believe
Goes until 5:30, correct?
Yes. Okay. So, newsroom, if you're listening, listen up to this one. This is from the National Weather Service chat. Island City, back in Owsley County, emergency management reports a tree was blown down onto a home. So that's in the Island City area of Owsley County, which was earlier, that storm that moved through there earlier today. So again, we know for a fact this is strong wind. So we're just continuing to maybe see some more of these reports come in, but that's the only official one we've gotten from emergency management over in Owsley County. This happened about 4:25, so that was when that tornado warned storm was going through there a little earlier. So we're going to continue to track that as well. Let's just kind of take a look and see what we got now. Of course, these storms are very electrical. We're continuing to see a lot of lightning strikes with these, and you see the white little streaks there. Those are the ones that are the kind of the more current, and then the yellow ones are a little bit. Actually, the yellow ones are a little bit more current, and the white ones are the ones that's happened in the last few minutes. But again, this right now, this storm moving towards Sayersville. Right here, it's actually just updated again. So Lakeville, it's closing in on you right now. If you're living along Highway 30, Highway 7, even though you're getting soaked right now, this is the cell that we're kind of concerned at this point that's affecting you all. So we're going to continue to track that. Let me zoom out real fast just to make sure. I think that tornado warning for Claiborne County will be allowed to expire because it's very disorganized. Let's zoom in real quick, and then we'll go right back to McGoffin County. Just want to make sure that we're keeping our East Tennessee neighbors there included as well. But this is moving just to the south of Big Bear, and again, like we said earlier, Paige, is looking a little bit more disorganized.
It is looking more disorganized. It's also showing those little notches that we're kind of seeing here in eastern Kentucky. So they did actually issue a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on that. So I think that tornado warning will be allowed to expire, and that includes Claiborne County and then even Granger and Union that we were talking about, just bordering that area out of our area, but right there, that goes until 6 p.m. So they still have 45 minutes on that. But I think they'll let that tornado warning expire as we're starting to see that's really start to kind of die down. We saw it a little bit more disorganized.
Okay, so let's reset, come back up here, and we'll, if you'll just push that one out on social, just push it on, and then I'll go back to the McGoffin County cell. We usually try to post radar with all of our warnings to kind of give you an idea, but when we're tracking several and we want to get back to this one here, we'll just get them up for you. That way you know what areas. But if you're watching us on TV, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on the website. Again, we appreciate you tuning in and trusting us with your severe weather coverage. But we're continuing to track this storm here, going for another about 15 minutes or so until 5:30 for parts of Magoffin and parts of, I think probably most of it is out of Breathitt now, and that part may have been allowed to expire. Hit the chat there for a second. Let me see if they've
just
they
continued.
canceled Wolf.
They've canceled Wolf.
Yeah, so Breathitt and Magoffin are the only two counties still in. Of course, that's probably more eastern Breathitt than anything at this point, going back over into Magoffin County. So, again, it's looking like, at least Paige, once it come out on the other side of the radar, those notches are starting to get a little bit fewer and far between.
And it almost looks like those two storms, they're looking like they're starting to come together. So that'll make it a lot more disorganized, which is some good news as it moves into parts of Magoffin County.
Exactly. So we'll stay on for just a couple more minutes because, again, we're still watching this severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag on it going toward Salyersville. And I know a lot of folks in that area, like I mentioned just a few minutes ago, very concerned when storms like these come through. But we're getting some rain here in Hazard right now.
Yeah.
So let me put the track on that one more time. We'll start right here. So it's not too far out at this point. So basically Salyersville 519. So you got about 3 minutes before the second bulk or the second part of this storm kind of gets to you. And we're going to continue to track that here for a few more minutes because, thankfully, we're seeing these notches get a little bit fewer and far between, but we are still watching a couple right here. Yeah. Right through there.
We're definitely have to keep an eye on them, too, as they start to move even into parts of Floyd County and even into Johnson County. Yeah. Well, you guys haven't seen a lot. It's kind of why we're seeing it die down as it moves into parts of Salyersville. You guys had that storm that you can see moving into parts of Burning Fork, and that's starting to move into parts of moving into Johnson County. So hopefully that'll diminish the severe threat, hopefully.
And just to kind of give you an idea, I'll draw a line on this warning. I think right there is the end of it.
Yeah.
So right there, all of this is moving in this general direction. So Prestonsburg, and then they zoom out just a hair, or move up just a hair. Paintsville, that's moving in. Of course, Paintsville getting a little rain right now, so that may help just a little bit. But Prestonsburg looks like it's been pretty dry for most of the day, so we're going to continue to watch these very carefully as they continue to track across the area. We'll come back to Salyersville and Magoffin County right there. Moving out, Jackson, you're okay at this point. All that's moved past you over the radar site. We'll go back there, basically gone. It's basically eastern Breathitt County that we're still concerned with this at this point, and into Magoffin County, the majority of Magoffin County actually, because these storms have continued to, of course, it's had a track of wind damage, a history of wind damage along this track, so that's a possibility. But the reports now in the areas that have already been hit starting to come in. Of course, we only have that one confirmed report there in Owsley County.
Yeah, that one in Owsley County that Brandon is referring to. There was a tree blown onto a home in Island City. And I'm pretty sure that was one of the areas that was under that tornado warning at the time. Island City was in that. Once again, we don't know if a tornado touched down, but at least we do know there was some wind damage. And a new severe thunderstorm warning was just issued. Does not have a tornado tag on it, but for Breathitt, Floyd, Johnson, Magoffin, Martin, Pike County, that goes until 6:15.
So I tell you what, we'll stay with it a few more minutes there as it gets a little closer to Salyersville, and then we'll get you back to regular programming, getting ready for the 5:30 news here coming up in a few minutes. But right here, again, that's a little bit more well-defined now. So that's why we're going to stick with it for a little while longer. But yeah, right there's that notch. Let me get that new warning out real fast. Zoom back out here and get that right fast, and we'll get that.
Once again, it's those just little notches that we keep kind of talking about that we're keeping an eye on. This isn't a typical, a typical signature that you guys usually, when we say hook echo, most people understand kind of what that is. These are those notches just because we're seeing a line of showers and storms moving through the area. So those just brief spin ups, you're seeing those start to bow out. Some very just straight line gusty winds. Just even those brief spin ups are very possible with the storm moving through. We could be seeing one moving into parts of Salyersville. So once again, you just want to be in your safe place. Always take severe thunderstorm warnings just as serious as tornado warnings because those straight line winds can do just as much damage. If you don't have a safe place, if you don't know what a safe place is, we're seeing just heavy rain moving into Salyersville. You can see that radar was just recently updated, looking a little bit more disorganized, but definitely that heavy rain still that main threat over there. Even Brandon was talking about lots of lightning and even just those gusty winds that are still moving through the area. You want to be in a safe place though, which is if you are in a basement, basement's the best place to be. If you don't have a basement, the most bottom of your house, the bottom of the building, wherever you are, you want to be in a room that doesn't have any windows, away from windows, most interior part of your home as well, whether that is a bathroom or a closet. So just once again, just be in your safe places. We're going to continue obviously to keep you updated. Like I said, we're starting to see that severe threat at least for Salyersville, starting to get out of there, just that very gusty winds, and even everything's becoming a lot more disorganized, which is very, very good news.
That's right. So I think I think we can safely toss it back to programming now. And of course, we're still tracking this, and heavy rain falling here in Hazard at this point. But we'll get you back to programming. We'll be back as needed with updates.